SpaceX's new Falcon Heavy launching and dual booster touchdown looks to be just around the corner for the first time in more than 2 years. After additional delays caused by its U.S. military cargo, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket's next mission, which was previously intended for October, has been moved forward to early 2022. The Space Force's USSF-44 mission was supposed to launch on October 9th, but it has been postponed. The Space Force did not announce a new launch date for the USSF-44 operation, but it has been pushed out to early 2022, over 3 years after the last Falcon Heavy flight in June 2019. Hello and welcome back to our channel. Have you heard of the anticipated SpaceX Falcon Heavy launch? What is the purpose of going big for SpaceX? In today's video, we look at how it all started, the developments made to date, and we're also going to take a peek into the future and see how glorious it is. But first, before we get started with today's video, please subscribe to our channel, post a comment, share the video, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. So, let's get started. SpaceX's launch scheduled for 2022 is jam-packed with Falcon Heavy rocket flights. It is the world's most powerful operating rocket and the third largest spacecraft ever to reach orbit after NASA's Saturn V, Russia's Energia rockets, both of which are no longer active. By a factor of 2, Falcon Heavy is by far the most powerful and efficient rocket in the world. Falcon Heavy can lift approximately 64 metric tons, 141,000 pounds, into orbit, which is more than twice as much as the next closest operation rocket, the Delta VI. Falcon Heavy is made up to 3 Falcon 9 9-engine cores, each of which has 27 Merlin engines that provide more than 5 million pounds of thrust during liftoff. Falcon Heavy seems to be the most powerful rocket flying. The Falcon Heavy's liftoff thrust, equivalent to 18 747 airplanes at full power. Falcon Heavy is capable of launching a fully loaded 737 airliners into orbit, loaded with people, baggage, and fuel. SpaceX created the Merlin rocket engine family to be used on its Falcon 1, Falcon 9, and Falcon Heavy launch vehicles. In a gas generator power cycle, Merlin engines employ RP-1 and liquid oxygen as rocket propellants. The Merlin engine was created with the intention of being recovered and reused. Since 2018, Falcon Heavy has just completed 3 missions. SpaceX successfully deployed its triple booster Falcon Heavy rocket for the first time in a stunning show of force in February 2018. After years of anticipation, the rocket's twin side boosters executed a historic near simultaneously landing only a couple of miles distant from where they set off, despite the fact that the center core booster on its exceptionally high speed re-entry and it was lost before it could attempt to land. Falcon Heavy then took an extended rest. In the end, the premier vehicle proved to be a one-off, as SpaceX swiftly developed, constructed, and certified a completely new Falcon Heavy rocket centered on the Falcon 9's new and better Block 5 version over the period of 14 months. After a few minor delays, the Falcon Heavy Block 5 space rocket successfully completed its first operation for a paying client in April 2019. This time, all 3 boosters, 2 landed on land and 1 landed on the water, survived re-entry and landed perfectly on a drone boat and 2 landing areas. Even though it was only a few months later, the Falcon Heavy Block 5 first 2 recoverable side boosters flew once again in support of the U.S. Air Force STP-2 mission, which was intended to test the rocket's capabilities and assist the military to certify it for high-value cargoes. Those side boosters successfully returned for an asynchronous touchdown in SpaceX's landing zones once more, but the mission's Block 5 center core's re-entry was too hot, burning key components and resulting in a hard landing in the Atlantic Ocean, as SpaceX had partially predicted. Aside from that, the mission was a huge success, providing the U.S. military nearly all of the data is required to certify the world's largest operational rocket for cargo flight. Surprisingly, that June 2019 mission would be Falcon Heavy's 3rd and most recent launch. After a lengthy break, SpaceX is planning several Falcon Heavy flights for 2022, all of which will launch from NASA's Kennedy Space Center at Florida's iconic Launch Complex 39A. Initially, SpaceX planned to fly a Falcon Heavy mission for the United States Space Force, USSF, this year. The mission has been postponed until next year, according to military officials, due to payload readiness. On the USSF-44 mission, the Falcon Heavy will transport numerous military cargoes to a high-altitude geosynchronous orbit. The top stage of the rocket will fire numerous times to position the satellites more than 22,000 miles above the equator. The USSF-44 missions is one of the SpaceX most demanding launches to date. A microsatellite called Tetra-1, manufactured by Millennium Space Systems, a Boeing subsidiary based in El Segundo, California, is one of the spacecraft on the USSF-44 launch. The Tetra-1 satellite, according to military authorities, was built for prototype missions, tactics, methods, and operations in and around geosynchronous Earth orbit. As far as we know, the U.S. military is staying quiet about the USS F-44 mission's additional satellites. The launch of the USS F-44 was earlier put back from July to October due to payload difficulties. For the USS F-44 flight, SpaceX will employ 3 newly built rockets earlier this year. All of the boosters were brought to the Florida launch base. As per the Space Force, Falcon Heavy's central core will not be recoverable due to the difficult launch profile. The rocket's 2 side boosters will be retrieved on 2 SpaceX drone ships stationed at sea and the downrange east of Cape Canaveral, while the core stage will be used for the launch. Despite the extended gap between Falcon Heavy's mission, the rocket is set to have a busy year in 2022, with 4 launches scheduled from Florida's Space Coast from January to August. After the USS F-44 operation, the next national security mission on a Falcon Heavy is slated for the second quarter of 2022. According to a Space Systems Command representative, the next commercial Falcon Heavy flight, which will transport a Viasat 3 broadband communication satellite into geostationary orbit, is likely planned for the second quarter of 2022. NASA's robotic Psyche probe will launch atop a Falcon Heavy rocket next August on a mission to investigate a metallic asteroid circling the Sun between Mars and Jupiter. Another mission, codenamed USS F-67, is set to launch in late 2022, although the Space Force hasn't said whether it would use a Falcon Heavy or SpaceX's single-stick Falcon 9 rocket. All Falcon Heavy flights depart from NASA's Kennedy Space Center, Pad 39A, which has previously hosted Apollo lunar mission space shuttles and SpaceX crew missions. At least 10 Falcon Heavy launches have been confirmed by SpaceX, including flights in 2024 to deliver NASA's Europa Clipper spacecraft into Jupiter and the first 2 parts of the proposed Gateway mini space outpost toward the Moon. A Falcon Heavy is also scheduled to launch in 2024. NASA has also hired SpaceX to launch 2 Falcon Heavy rockets to help Dragon XL cargo trips reach the Gateway outpost later in the decade. The most intriguing operation to look forward to will take place in August 2022, when NASA's Psyche spacecraft will embark on a robotic mission to investigate a 104-mile-wide metal-rich asteroid known as 16 Psyche. NASA's Psyche will be launched by Falcon Heavy. NASA wants the greatest degree of launch vehicle dependability for the mission, which will investigate a metal asteroid orbiting Mars and Jupiter to help humanity understand better the creation of our solar system's planets, according to SpaceX. After completing the rocket's third and most recent launch in June 2019, SpaceX is now expected to go a full 30 months between Falcon Heavy flights due to the current delay. This will be SpaceX's first direct launch into geostationary orbit, GEO. If there are no more delays, the Falcon upper stage must survive a multi-hour cruise through the InSight 2 radiation belts before reigniting to perform a circularization burn around 35,800 kilometers, between 35,800 kilometers above the Earth's surface. However, a rideshare payload recently moved to SpaceX's Viasat 3 communication satellite launch showed that the business also plans to carry such payloads straight to GEO in 2022, may outspace USS F-44 in a matter of months. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for your time and attention. How many launches do you think SpaceX can do in a single year? Are you looking forward to the launch of SpaceX Falcon Heavy? Comment below, share your opinion. Also, if you are interested in more videos like this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.